Hello, hello. How is everybody tonight? Somebody's here saying hello first thing. Say hi, Rosie. Say hi. How is everybody tonight? Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. How is everybody? Vlog Live, hello. Even, hello. Brandon, hello. RMS Titanic, hello. Maritime History, Sam is live. Yes, I am. How is everybody tonight? Vlog Live. Hello from England. Hello from West Virginia. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. Lieutenant Drake. Hey, Sam. Long-time viewer, subscriber here. Awesome. Thank you. First time catching a live stream. Let's see. Circus injury at my last gig left me with a broken wrist, so I finally get to watch. Seriously? Dude, I hope you're okay and feel better soon. Gosh, I'm sorry to hear that, man, but thank you for tuning in for the live stream. Let's see. History Kid, hello. Fernanda. OMG, I'm a huge fan. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Let's see. Ivan, hello from South Africa. Wow, South Africa. That's incredible. I really want to visit Cape Town at some point in the near future. Kurt, hello from California. Hello, Kurt. I may be heading in your direction before too long. Okay. All right, here we go. Hold on a second, guys. We have to engage the slow mode now. I can't keep this channel. I cannot keep anything running for 2 seconds before I have to engage the slow mode. I try to keep it running as long as I can, but how is everybody tonight? What is going on? Tell me the updates. Hang on a second. There we go. Still arranging things. Let's see. Glamorous Titanic. Hey, Sam, what do you think of the idea of adding cameras to the Britannic wreck to give us a sort of online underwater tour? That would be insanely cool if they could do that. I heard something about them wanting to do that. What is Rosie doing? I heard them wanting to do something about that with the Titanic, but I think it'd be a lot easier to do with the Britannic. But as long as they don't mess with the wreck, I think that's really cool so people could see it. Let's see. Trenton, hi. Sorry if I'm late. No problem. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Wing, did you get a haircut? Just call me Wing. I just called you Wing. Yes, I did. What do you guys think? The haircut look good? Does it look good? My hair doesn't grow down or out or anything. It fluffs. So it gets to the point where it starts to annoy me. And then when I get a haircut, it's like I feel like a weight difference off of my head. So it feels great. Let's see. Indingo, lovely day for a lockdown stream. Another lockdown? What's going on? Let's see. Jack, haircut looks good. Thank you. Paranormal, do you think they would ever try to recover more from the Titanic? I think they will soon because as far as I know, all the plans to attempt to recover the Titanic's radio have been stopped for now. But I believe they would like to try to do it. It's just, the world's still trying to play catch up because of COVID and everything. So I think eventually they will. Let's see. Nicholas, Sam, which shipwreck do you think could be raised? If you're talking about big ocean liners, probably, I think it would be possible to raise Britannic, but they'd have to cut it up into small pieces and bring it up a bit at a time. It just depends on how deep they are, man. There's a lot of factors when it comes to raising up a shipwreck. The smaller the ship, the easier the job it would be. Look how tough it was for them to raise the Costa Concordia, and that ship was only semi-submerged. So let's see, Daniel, please do a video on the SS Great Britain. I'm from near Bristol, UK, where it is a museum ship. The SS Great Britain, I believe that one's already on the list, and that is something that I would like to talk about. But yeah, hang on, SS Great Britain. Let me see. The SS Great Britain. The SS Great Britain. Didn't it sink and then they recovered it? No, I don't think it's sunk. I don't know anything about this ship, but I know that there was isn't there a famous clipper ship in the UK that went down and then they raised it and it's a museum ship now? I don't think it's the Great Britain, but I'm thinking of something. If anybody knows in the chat what ship I'm thinking of, I think it's from the 16 or 1700s. I'm not really sure. Let's see. Jessica, they are talking about going into the Titanic to retrieve what they can find in the Titanic. They are talking about, yeah, Jessica, we talked about that earlier. I believe that they are, as far as I know, what they're wanting to get is the radio, but it's possible they would want to get some other stuff. Let's see. Lieutenant Drang, the Queen Anne's Revenge is an interesting story. I believe we already have that one on the list, but that is a good one, Lieutenant Drake. Emily, if the Britannic was raised, I would love to visit. I would love to visit it too, but I'm not a fan because the only way that I think they could do it is that they would have to cut it up into parts and bring it up a chunk at a time. I don't think they could just bring the whole thing up at once. Let's see. Daniel, the Great Britain was abandoned as a coal hole in Franklin's, but it was recovered in the 70s and brought back to Bristol for conservation. Okay, cool. Let's see. Irish, Titanic should be left alone. Yeah, I mean, I get that side of the argument. And if the Titanic was going to be down there for a long time, then I would agree, because I used to be completely for them only recovering items that were thrown from the ship and in the debris field. I was never into the idea of them going and taking stuff from the ship. But what changed my mind was the rapid decay of the wreck itself. And if they don't go in and retrieve stuff from the ship, then it's going to be lost forever. And think about what our great-grandchildren and stuff 100 years from now, if they want to learn about Titanic and we don't recover anything, it's going to be lost forever. The Titanic isn't like a sealed, like a Pharaoh's tomb or something where the things inside will be preserved forever. The environment of the Titanic is a very hostile environment and it's destroying everything. So if we don't recover stuff, then we'll lose it forever. Miss Sir Incredible, Sam, what is your favorite ship? My favorite ship. My favorite ship. My favorite ship. I like Titanic, but I also really like the Queen Mary. Those are the two ships that I always really like. The Queen Mary, I'm really fond of the Queen Mary because I have my own little personal connection to the ship. A man, he passed away a few years ago, but he was like a grandfather to me. He taught me violin for 10 plus years. He was 96 years old when he passed away, and I miss him dearly. He was like a grandfather to me. But during the Second World War, he sailed on the Queen Mary. So I made it a point to, when I worked out in Arizona, when I had some leave, I made it a point to go to Long Beach to see the Queen Mary, just so I could visit the ship and see it, and in my own way, try to connect to him a little bit and see where he was during that time period. I really miss that guy. I mean, like I said, he was like my grandfather. And our first super chat of the night, Garth Drake, $5. Thank you so much, Garth. What are your thoughts on the Freedom Ship? The Freedom Ship. Oh, and Ryan Dodd, $1. Thank you so much, man. The Freedom Ship, if I remember correctly, we talked about that before. It was a ship that was supposed to be a giant floating city. I believe the top deck was supposed to be a runway, and it was going to be around 1 mile long. And the whole idea was, like, you could, if I'm remembering correctly, you could get apartments on it. You could, it was basically a city that I don't think it would ever dock. I think everything would come to it by tender. It was never built, nothing like that. And the whole concept of it was that it would always sail around the world. It'd be a movable city, if I'm remembering correctly. And if they pulled it off, I think that would be insanely cool. On a practicality scale, I don't know how well that would go. How much fuel would it cost to move a 1 mile ship? How many people would you need to live on it in order to make it sustainable? I think it's a cool concept, but I'd need to know more about it before I'd sign off on it completely. And it'd be very, very difficult. The Cutting Room Floor, $2. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Sam, it's my birthday, 24 today. Happy birthday, Cutting Room Floor. Everybody say happy birthday, Cutting Room Floor. Happy birthday. Everybody say happy birthday to the Cutting Room Floor. Wish him a happy birthday. Cutting Room Floor, my birthday is in a couple of weeks, and I am turning the big 30. So we both have birthdays this month. That's so cool. We got our next super chat, $10 from Tanya. Thank you so much, Tanya. Hey, Sam, why was there 2 operators on the Titanic and 1 on the Californian? That is a very good question. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know the exact reason as to why they had it like that. Maybe it had to do with the type of ships. Maybe the Titanic was a bigger passenger vessel and they wanted to constantly get the signals sent out. They didn't want to, there was always going to be messages coming to and fro and they didn't want any interruptions. I'm just guessing at this point. I'm just making an educated guess. If anybody knows for certain, please let me know in the chat. But the Californian was a much smaller ship, so maybe they just didn't think they needed 24-hour watch, So that's my guess. That would make sense to me. But yeah, because you would always, I believe with the Titanic, there would always be somebody on the radio. It would either be Jack Phillips or Harold Bride. One guy goes to sleep, another guy takes over, and so on and so forth. And I think they needed that just to keep up with all the messages, all the influx of messages. And with the Californian, where it was a much smaller ship, I guess they just didn't need it. But again, I'm guessing here. This is an educated guess. But if anybody knows for certain, please let me know in the chat. But that was a very good question. And honestly, I think that might make a pretty good video topic. Let me do some research into that. Tanya, you have got something on the list. I will make sure to give you a shout out whenever I get that video done. I'm adding it to the list real quick because it's a really good idea. And never really thought of that before. So let's see. Copy and paste. Tanya to radios. Got it. Anyway, thank you so much, Tanya. Thank you for the super chat. Psych 50. Thank you so much, Psych, and welcome back to the stream. Man, you guys are awesome. Just thank you so much. Hiya, Send the Man. Hi, Psych. Looks like a great night for a looks like a great night for a great night. Absolutely. Godspeed. Please shout out some peace and encouragement to all the children and others going back to school this week and beyond. Everybody going back to school this week, I wish you the best of luck. And honestly, guys, just keep doing the best job that you can. Work hard, study hard, but also don't be afraid to have some fun. Go say hi to your friends. Go. And I mean, honestly, I know school sounds like a drag, but when you think about it, and I think back to my school years when I was a kid and stuff, honestly, those are some of the best memories of my life. And that's where you meet some of your closest friends that you'll have when you're older. So don't wish your school days by, really, really enjoy them because they'll be over before you know it. I cannot believe I'm about to turn 30 this year or this month. And I was class of 2010 in high school. And I mean, I honestly cannot believe that was 11 years ago. I mean, honestly, time goes by so fast. Like my middle school years, my high school years. I talked about that in the last stream. Somebody told me they were getting ready to go back to school. So listen, to all you kids out there going back to school, I wish you the best of luck and, work hard, study hard, get a goal in your mind and just go for it. Whatever your dreams are, just don't let anything stop you. Pursue your dreams and do the best job that you can. And all of you going back to school, good luck. And I hope everything goes well. Thank you so much, Psych. Thank you so much for that super chat. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Vlog, I go to school tomorrow. Good luck, Vlog. We got another super chat from Ryan. 5, thank you so much. Will you ever cover, Psych, thanks again for the super chat. Ryan, will you ever cover the sinking of the USS Indianapolis? The USS Indianapolis, if I'm remembering correctly, wasn't that the ship that had the bomb on it? USS Indianapolis. If that was the warship that had the wasn't that the ship that carried the atomic bomb? Indianapolis completed a top secret high-speed trip to deliver parts of the Libel. Yes, I'm remembering correctly. Yes, that one is on the list already. We are going to cover that ship at some point. That is a great topic, and that is very interesting. Because didn't it deliver the parts of the atomic bomb right before it got sunk? I believe I'm remembering that correctly. But yeah, that's definitely on the list. And thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see, we got that one. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats because I do not want to get behind here. We're good. Okay, we're all good. We're all caught up. Will, what's up? What's up, Will? What's up? Anonymous. Why did the Costa Concordia get scrapped after it was raised? Anonymous, did you not see the pictures of it, man? I mean, seriously, the ship was wrecked. The whole side of the ship that was underwater was just damaged beyond compare. The entire, let's see, it sunk on was it the port side it went down? Or wait, I'm forgetting which side the ship sunk. The starboard port. Yeah, I'm thinking. But yeah, the side that the ship was underwater, it was completely crushed. And the salt water did so much structural damage. And if you look at the interior photos of the ship, I mean, it's just gutted. Starboard, okay, it rolled over on the starboard. I just mind blank moment. But yeah, I mean, there's just no way they could have recovered it. It would have cost more to fix the ship than it would have been to just scrap it and build a new one. That's one reason why they're having so many issues. I believe it was Crystal Cruise Line that wanted to restore the SS United States. But when they went to try to figure out how to convert it into modern ship standards, it was so much money to get the SS United States restored. I believe they said they would have to remove 45% of the ship's hull to take all the steam stuff out, because I believe it still has boilers in it and steam pipes. Maybe not boilers, but the piping for it. And they'd have to take all that out, and it would just be an astronomical amount of money, so they just couldn't do it. Another super chat from Aviation. Hello, and thank you so much. We got 8. Thank you so much. You should make a video on what if a modern cruise ship sank, like the Symphony of the Seas. Also do some vlogs on ships in the future, maybe. Well, I'm hoping to go on a cruise before too long. I really do want to go on a cruise again. And, you know, if I go on a cruise, I will definitely vlog it. I'll definitely talk about it and have some things to say about it. But it would depend on the ship, and it would all depend on the type of damage, you know, because ships sinking are very unpredictable. And which ship did you recommend here? The Symphony of the Seas? Whoa. Hang on. What just happened here? Hold on a second, guys. Something just happened to the stream. I know you all can still see me and we're still alive, but I just lost the chat. Hold on a second, guys. Wow, what just happened? Holy cow, everything just locked up on me. Okay, there we go. Okay, you guys are back. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? Hello? Can you? Am I live? Am I still live? Testing. Test. Can you still see me and hear me? Testing. Are we still good? My whole computer just locked up for a second. Okay, all right, we're good. Okay, there's a delay on here, but it was like I just completely lost to the entire chat for a second. It still said I was live, everything was still running, but then it's just I couldn't see anything. So I'm like, all right, and here comes all the yeses. Okay, let's get back to that question. I completely forgot my train of thought. Okay, but with the Symphony of the Seas, if that ship went down, it depends on, like I said, depends on where it got breached, but I don't have any images of it to show you guys. But the Symphony of the Seas, just pretend this is the back of it. It's got a very open back, like, you know, it's not a contained back. It's like, I believe the back of the ship has like a boardwalk on it. And if that went under and that was the first thing to go under, the sinking of that ship would be very uneven and very unstable. And honestly, I would guess that the whole ship would capsize pretty quick, you know. Now, if it sunk from the bow, maybe not. It would probably sink relatively stably. But I don't know. Those ships are just so big. I definitely have to, I'd have to research it a little bit. But that was a great question. I might have to do a video on that. That's a really good idea. Lieutenant Drake, your wireless set lost power for a moment. Yes, it did. I need to get somebody to come in and repair it. But hey, at least it wasn't sweet tea, right? At least I didn't spill sweet tea on my system, right, guys? Oh gosh, that poor laptop. You know, when the sweet tea incident occurred, all 16 watertight compartments were compromised. Can you believe that? And look, I'm holding tea. Let's see. Toby, hi Sam. What is your favorite room on the Titanic? Also, what is your favorite suite design? I really like the Italian. Favorite suite design? Like, are you talking about the different rooms on the ship? I'm not 100% certain what you're talking about. Like maybe like the different types of rooms on board. I don't really have an answer for that. But as far as my favorite room on the Titanic, it would probably have to be the Grand Staircase. It could be the Isidore and Ida Strauss suite. My opinion changes on that from time to time. But the Turkish bath is also really cool. But honestly, I'd probably have to go with the Grand Staircase. Let's see. I love cars. $2. Thank you so much. Is the Exxon Valdez on the list? First time live. Awesome and welcome. I love cars. The Exxon Valdez. I know I'm not pronouncing that right. Let's do a quick Google. The Google. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of Google, but it's quite spectacular. Like all I have to do is hit the enter key and boom, it pops up. The Exxon Valdez oil spill was a man-made disaster that occurred when the Exxon Valdez, an oil tanker owned by Exxon Shipping Company, spilled 11 million gallons of crude oil into the Alaska. I believe somebody mentioned this to me. It was the worst oil spill in U.S. history. I believe we've already talked about this, and I believe it's on the list, but I'm going to go ahead and add it again just to be certain because I definitely want to cover this. Anonymous, rest in peace, old laptop. Gerald, no sippy cup. I know I'm sailing in rough waters here, but I'm definitely going to go ahead and put this back on the list because I do know this is something that I definitely want to cover. I definitely want to cover that in the future. And thank you for the super chat, by the way. And thank you for being a first-time viewer. I love cars. Let's see. Brick, Monday greeting. Hello, Brick. Where are you in the world where it's already Monday? Let's see. Charles, hey, question. Why did Britannic's Marconi wiring go down when the mine struck? And secondly, if you could choose any artifact from the Titanic wreck legally, what would it be? I guess you mean recover any Titanic artifact. Well, to answer your first question, when the Britannic struck the mine on the starboard side, the mine lifted up the hull of the ship for a second, and then the Britannic kind of rocked side to side afterwards. And then when that happened, the mine detonation warped Britannic's hull a bit and caused it to flex. And when that happened, the wire cable between the two masts, it just snapped. That's what caused that to happen. It was just the mine detonation and it warped the hull a bit. And that's also another reason as to why a couple of Britannic's watertight doors didn't shut. Because when the hull flexed, it caused the doors to kind of jump their track, so to speak. So they didn't shut right. And secondly, if they could recover one artifact from the Titanic, I've talked about this before. I really, I can't stress it enough. I really want them to, did I say really enough? But I really want them to recover the clock in the Isidore and Ida Strauss suite, because the whole room is gone. The whole room is destroyed. But in the corner is their fireplace. And on top of their fireplace, on the mantle, is their clock. It is still sitting there. And the room's gone. The room's wrecked. That is the only part of the room that's intact. And if they could get that clock, that would just be so cool, because we could actually compare the clock to the ship's time clock, and we could get a better understanding of the rate of the Titanic flooding. I mean, just think about what that could tell us. I made a video all about that. I believe the video is like unbelievable discoveries inside the Titanic. That's a whole video I made. So if you do want to go check that out, but if they could recover one thing, I would definitely go and check that out. I would definitely like to go and check that out. Oh, wow. And of course, as I get off talking, we get a whole bunch of super chats. Let's see. Aaron, $10. Thank you so much. Have you seen the original White Star Line Olympic class design? Original White Star Line Olympic class design. I'm not sure what you're referring to. As far as I know, they always planned them to be the way that they were, unless there's another type of Olympic class of ships that I'm not aware of. But hang on. Olympic class original design. Well, that pulled something right up on Google. Are you talking about how they had the concept for the ships to be 3 funnels? Is that what you're talking about? Because I'm not really sure. I see some preliminary designs for the Olympic, like they look a little bit different. To be quite honest, some of these images I'm seeing, they kind of look like the Big Four. But I think this is what you're talking about. I know they originally had 3 funnels planned, but I'm not 100% certain. But if that's what it is, that's definitely interesting. And I'm not that familiar with all that. Jeremy, thank you so much for the 5. Jeremy says, hey, loving the awesome content. Thank you, Jeremy. Another cool idea might be a video covering the Challenger, the ship that discovered the Challenger Deep. I'm not familiar with that. Challenger ship that discovered Challenger Deep. I'm not familiar with that story at all. The HMS Challenger, the depths of the Mariana Trench were first plumbed in 1875 by the British ship HMS Challenger as part of the first global oceanic cruise. The Challenger scientists recorded a depth of, interesting. I didn't know that they knew about the Marianas Trench then. Oh, okay. Oh, that is definitely going on the list. That is definitely going on the list. Thank you so much, Jeremy. That is an incredible idea. I've heard the term like Challenger Deep before, but I never knew where it came from. Jeremy, that is awesome. And I'm adding that to the list right now. And I'm also going to save your name, Jeremy Hack. All right. You're going to get a shout out when that video comes up. That's a great idea, man. And thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. We got Chippers 5. Thanks so much, Chippers. Hi, Sam. Perhaps you could do a video on the evolution of lifeboats and how they have changed from early clipper ships to modern cruise ships. The evolution of lifeboats over time. That would definitely be interesting. That'd be a ton of research, but that's a good idea. That is a very good idea. Chippers, that's going on the list. And thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see. Changes in lifeboats over time. Got it. Thank you so much for that. That is an incredible idea. I would love to learn more about that as well. And I mean, because just think about how they changed things between the Titanic and the Britannic. You know, I mean, they made drastic changes to the Britannic from the Titanic, you know, like the gantry davits and adding more lifeboats. And I believe the Britannic was one of the first ships to have motorized lifeboats. It's the first one that I'm aware of to have actual motorized lifeboats. But if you guys know of any others, let me know in the chat, because I don't know for certain it was the first one. Let's see. Lucifer 5, thank you so much. Hey, I hope you didn't forget about the bit on the Titanic's funnels, because they are most iconic part of her too. In the wreck, please. Okay, so I don't know if you know this, but I made a video talking all about the Titanic's funnels way back in the beginning. Like, I'm talking like pre-1,000 subscriber. I should probably do an updated video on that, but I did make a video talking all about the Titanic funnels, like how they fell and everything. I haven't talked about what happened to them at the wreck, you know, like how they eroded. I haven't gone into that. But I made a video talking about how the Titanic's funnels fell, if you would like to go and watch that. And there is there might be a little bit of a joke in there as well, if you guys would like to go and check that out. But yes, I have made a video talking about the Titanic's funnels, and let me know what you think in the comments whenever you watch it. But thank you so much for the 5, man. And FYI, The Mandalorian is the best thing to happen to Star Wars in a very long time. The Mandalorian was absolutely great. I really, really enjoyed it. Let's see. I believe we are all caught up on the super chats. Let's see. I'm just Karen. Hi, Sam. What is the most ridiculous piece of Titanic merch you've seen? The most ridiculous piece of Titanic merch that I've ever seen. I have no idea, to be honest with you, because I've seen a bunch of crazy Titanic stuff. You know, I'd have to think about that because I've seen a lot. And I don't know. I really don't have an answer to that, but I should definitely look into that a little bit more. Let's see. Goosey, hi, Sam. How long is your list of video ideas? Extremely long. I don't have it numbered 100% here because I don't have time to keep it organized because I'm trying to keep up with the chat. But the list is already 100 plus. Actually, I'd say it's more closer to 200 videos at this point. Good grief. How am I going to get through all these? There's so many videos here. I'm looking at the list right now. I need to organize it a little bit better, but I'll definitely take a look. Oh, by the way, hey, guys, did you see where they canceled that Titanic museum that they were building in China? They had some kind of big plan to, from what I heard, they were wanting to recreate the iceberg impact. And it sparked some kind of public outrage, and they canceled the entire project. So now the Chinese Titanic replica is just sitting there. You know, they're not doing anything with it. I mean, that's crazy. The whole project got shut down. Let's see. Brandon, hey, Sam, could you please do a video on the Imperator class ships? Imperator class ships. Let me look, as I believe we've talked about that before. Gail, I did not hear about that. Fuzzy, what? Yeah, as far as I know, they shut that whole thing down. Hang on. Imperator class ships. Let me see here. The Imperator class ships. The SS Imperator, the SS Leviathan, and RMS Majestic. Interesting. I do not know anything about these ships. They were a series of ocean liners built by the Hamburg American Line. Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and put these. I'm going to put the whole line in a general on list and the whole line as a whole. And I will definitely research this a little bit. Paste. Boom. Got it. Cool. Thank you. But yeah, that's all. That's very crazy about the whole that whole Titanic replica they were building in China. Very, very crazy. That was a waste of time then from Banjin. Crazy. I wasn't 100% certain that it was going to get built because I believe that the same company that was building the Titanic replica was actually building another replica of a U.S. aircraft carrier, I think. Was it the Enterprise? There was some other model of a ship that they were building, and I believe they got it done, and then the whole thing shut down. Like the whole thing was shut down. And from the concept images that I've seen of what this Titanic replica would be, it looked pretty cartoony. Like if the images I saw are the same thing that they were going to do. It wasn't like they were going for a 100% accurate recreation from what I saw. I believe the museum in Tennessee did a much more accurate job. But listen, it's crazy what happened. And I always wondered what was going to happen with it. Love Monkey, welcome back to the stream. I remember you. Have you thought about a video on the Deepwater Horizon, the oil rig that caught fire and caused a huge oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico? I believe we've already talked about that, the Deepwater Horizon, the Deepwater Horizon. And thank you for the super chat, by the way. Thank you, Love Monkey. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill. Yes, we have talked about this before, I'm fairly certain. This was, what, in 2010? You know what it is? We talked about this, but I got it confused with another topic that somebody mentioned. But I believe, yeah, I remember when this happened. It was all over the news. This was a nightmare. This was a disaster. Holy cow. But I will go ahead and add that to the list again because I'm not 100% certain that it's there. But that is a great idea. Do some videos on oil spills and natural disasters caused by shipwrecks and other things. That's definitely something we will be talking about and covering. Thank you so much for the super chat, Love Monkey. That's awesome. Got another super chat. Nathan, can you do a video on the SS Mount Temple? The Mount Temple is already on the list, Nathan. We are definitely going to cover the Mount Temple. But I think the way I'm going to do it, I don't know if there will be a dedicated 100% video just talking about that ship as a whole. I'll probably make a dedicated video discussing all the ships in general that were close to the Titanic on the night of the sinking. I think I'll do something like that. I don't know. It would be a lot of work to try to cover every single ship that was around the Titanic, give a detailed history of it. But I mean, if I might be able to get to it. But let me go ahead and I'll add that to the list as well. SS Mount Temple. Boom, boom, boom. Got it. But we'll see. We'll see what I can pull off here. But yeah, the Mount Temple video would definitely be interesting. But we'll see what happens. But thank you so much for the 5, Nathan. Another super chat from Dustin, $5, but no question. Come on, Dustin. I appreciate the super chat, man. But anytime somebody contributes and support me on the channel, I really would like everybody to ask questions because I really like to help. You guys help support me, and I'd like to give you guys something in return and let you know how much I appreciate it. But thank you so much, Dustin. Scott, 5, thank you so much. Sam, can you please make a video on the SS Baron Gotch, which sank because of hitting a mine? I am not familiar with that at all. And all these super chats are video suggestions, which is awesome. Let's see. The SS Baron Gotch. I'm not familiar with this ship at all. Let's see. The SS Baron Gotch. The Baron Gotch was a Austro-Hungarian passenger ship that sank in the northern Adriatic Sea on the 13th of August, 1914, during its voyage from Kotor to, I know I'm not going to say this right, Trieste, after running into a minefield laid by, oh, wow, interesting. Yes, this is going on the list. This is definitely going on the list. And thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you for the incredible video idea. Copy and paste. And let me get your name. Scott, thank you so much, Scott. I really appreciate it. From Scott. That's going to be my catchphrase. Boom, got it. Thank you so much, Scott. Whoa, what just happened? Okay, there we go. Victory. Hi, Sam. I'm on summer holiday. Awesome, Victory. Thank you for the super chat. Any of the moment and what you said about school, I agree with Enon. Enon, though. Hang on. Hi, Sam. I'm on summer holiday. Any of the moment and what you said about school, I agree with. Though I get bullied there. I love it there. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Bullying is not okay at all. I mean, is there somebody you can talk to about that or somebody to seriously, that is the one thing that I hate, that I can't stand is bully stuff. I mean, because you hear about it all the time. You see it. I saw it when I was in school. And listen, just don't, I want to give you some advice, man, but just, don't let it continue, like talk to somebody, do whatever you can, because bullying is not okay. And anybody that does that to anybody is not cool in my book. Ugh, I hate bullies. I can't. That stuff needs to be more dealt with. It's very unfortunate that kind of thing happens. But hey, listen, I hope you enjoy school, man. I wish you luck, but do what you can to stop that. Don't let that happen, because bullying is awful, and it really makes me mad when I hear about anybody being bullied. But thank you for the super chat, by the way. Let's see, Perry 8. Thank you so much. Hi, Sam. I hope you're well. Hope you're well, Perry. Did you ever play Titanic Adventure in time or out of time? Was it out of time or in time? It's early 2000s, but it's a lot of fun and great digital reconstruction. Stay cool. Okay. Perry, I've got a story for you, and thank you for the super chat. Titanic Adventure Out of Time came out when I was very, very young. And here's the thing with it. I wanted to play the sinking. I wanted to get to the sinking so bad because I was really into Titanic then. But the game was more complicated than what I could handle at the time because, as I said, I was very young. So my mother helped me get through the entire game, and she played the entire game, okay? And then she got to the sinking, and then we made a save file, and then whenever I was bored, I would just play the sinking, just the sinking part over and over and over. And my mother spent so much time playing the game that night when she went to bed, she had a dream that we were on a speedboat in the middle of the Atlantic and that we hit an iceberg and sank. That was so long ago, but I remember that vividly, and it was so funny. But yes, I played it, and it's a fun game. I think it's really cool for the time. What I would do is, since it's like the game would show you sinking animations as the sinking was progressing, but the rooms that went underwater in the sinking animations, those rooms wouldn't actually flood in the real game. Like you could still walk around in those rooms, even though they were underwater. And what I would do is I would always just stay away from the rooms that flooded. So if I saw the grand staircase flood, I would stay towards the stern and just kind of recreate things on my own. But yes, very cool game. It was great for the time. Thank you, Perry, for the super chat. Nitro 10, thank you so much. Could you do a video on the German battleship Bismarck or some other World War II battleships? Those are already on the list, Nitro. I plan to cover the Bismarck and the Hood in the same video. Like, I want to cover the battle between the two. And I also want to talk about the sinking of the Bismarck. So that's definitely on the list. Thank you for the super chat, Nitro. We really got to catch up on these super chats. They're coming in so fast. All right, Dustin 5, thank you so much. I accidentally hit buy and send, but forgot to put a super chat message. Oh, that's awesome, Dustin. No big deal, man, but thank you so much for this new super chat. Video idea, Milton S. Hershey's Close Call with the Titanic. That's actually something I've already got planned for my list is people who barely missed the Titanic or almost were there but weren't, you know? I forget their names. If anybody in the chat knows, please remind me. But there were these guys who were supposed to work on the Titanic, and they were at a bar or something in Southampton. And what happened was they stayed at the bar too long, and they were almost they left the bar with just barely enough time to catch the Titanic. I mean, just barely had enough time to get on the ship. And as they were running from that bar and trying to get to the Titanic, a train was going by. There was a train going across the tracks or the railroad crossing where they were trying to get through. And by the time they sat there and waited for the train to pass, they booked it to the Titanic, and they did make it. The ship was still in the harbor, but they missed the time that they were told to get on board. Like, they had a last call time and they missed it. And the officer who saw them did not let them, he refused to let them board the Titanic. So just think about that. Number one, they were at the bar too long, so that caused them to be late. And then they were going to make it to the ship, but a train prevented them from getting there. I mean, seriously, just if that train hadn't been there at that moment, they would have been on the Titanic and they most likely would have died in the sinking. I mean, how crazy is that? I can't remember their names. If anybody in the chat knows about that, please let me know. But great super chat, great question, Dustin, and great idea for a future video. We will definitely be covering that. I'm going through these questions one at a time. So holy cow. Okay, let me double check here. The $5 questions disappear from the top of my feed so fast, so I just kind of have to scroll down the list. So, all right, here we go. Caleb, 5. Wow, we've got 270 people in here. That's crazy. Hi guys, hope you all having a good evening. Caleb, $5. Thank you so much, Caleb. Hey Sam, do you only plan on doing maritime or ship history, or do you plan on doing any videos on land battles or other events from history? Yes, I do plan to cover all those other types of events. I plan to cover all kinds of events from history. One of my favorite things is aviation stuff. Actually, hang on one second, guys. Give me 5 seconds. I'll be right back. And I'm back. See, I told you that was 5 seconds. But yeah, aviation stuff is one of my favorite things to cover as well. Like all types of history is stuff that I want to cover. But there's two other things that I really like that I haven't talked about before, and that's like aviation, trains, all sorts of history. But I also love animation, and I'm a big fan of Studio Ghibli. This book is called The Art of the Wind Rises, and this is one of my favorite films, The Wind Rises. And it's about an airplane engineer that lived in Japan. And this movie is so detailed in aviation history, and just I adore this movie. Like, I don't know if you guys remember this aircraft that was built. This was the guy who built this aircraft was trying to build the first transatlantic passenger plane in the early 1900s. So I love that stuff, and I do plan to cover all these other events from history. Let's see, Garth Drake 5. Thank you so much. Is the Titanic on the list? Lol, you should look into the Doko shipwreck. I'm not familiar with that shipwreck. Give me 1 second here. The Doko shipwreck. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. I'll go ahead and add it to the list, but we are kind of getting behind here on the super chat, so I need to keep going. But I will look into that, and thank you so much for the 5, Garth. Cheryl 7. Thank you so much, Cheryl. I want to let you know how much I enjoy your videos. Listen to them on my way to work. Have you ever played the Titanic board game classic? Yes, I did play that a lot when I was a kid. My whole family got it. Actually, I think we only played it once. But yes, I did play it, and I don't remember that much about it, but we did play it back then. Thank you so much, Cheryl. DR5, thank you so much. From my 8-year-old son, Mac. Hi, Mac. Hi. I have a really cool coin collection. That's awesome. I even have a coin from 1912. Would you make a video about coins? Thank you. Make a video about coins. That definitely would be an interesting thing. Like, Maybe the coins from the early 1900s. That's something that would be really cool to talk about. Hey, Mac, thank you so much for that. That's a great question, and I will look into doing a video about that. I'll add that to the list too as soon as I get a minute because I'm trying to catch up on these super chats. They're coming in so fast. Uncover 5, thank you so much. Do a video on Titanic versus Britannic's expansion joints. Ooh, interesting, because they did change the expansion joints between the two ships after the sinking of the Titanic. They did update that because there was some debate with the White Star Line that the expansion joint could have been a reason for the breakup. I don't believe that with what we know now, but at the time they did discuss that. Great video idea. Hang on, I'm going to go ahead and put that on the list real quick. Talk about the expansion joints. All right, I got it. Thank you so much. We're moving along here. I think we got that one. We got that one. Okay. I'm slowly catching up with the super chats. Victory Bob 2, thank you so much. Can you do a video on the HMS Victory and the HMS? Hang on a second. Oh, there it is. There we go. We got it. Can you do a video on the HMS Victory and the HMS Warrior, please? The HMS Victory and the HMS Warrior. The Victory, I believe, is already on my list. The Warrior, I will add to the list real quick. HMS Warrior. I'm not familiar with it, but I will look more into it when I get a chance. And it's on the list, and I will try to cover it. Thank you so much, Victory. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up with everything. That's why I'm not diving as deep into these as normal. But thank you so much, and I will look into it when I get a chance. Thank you for the super chat. J Black 5 as well. Thank you so much. Could you do a video about if the Titanic hit the iceberg during the day? That is something that we have talked about before, and I have explored that idea. But, you know, I think there could be a way to do it because I was struggling with thinking about how to do it because if the Titanic hit the berg during the day, then the whole cold water mirage effect that was going on, well, the effects of that would be clearly visible. You know, you'd be able to see the cold water mirage stuff. So maybe instead of saying, what if the Titanic sank during the day, I think a better example would be, what if the Titanic encountered the ice field or that iceberg during the daytime? How would things have been different? I think that would be a more appropriate video because if it was during the day, I don't think the Titanic would have sunk. Huh, that's a good idea. All right, I can feed off of your idea and create a good video topic, but I will add that to the list. Thank you so much for that idea. Let's see, got your name and Titanic Day. Got it. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for the super chat. Psych. Oh my gosh, psych. Oh my gosh. Seriously, thank you. I don't know what to say, psych. I really don't even know what to say. Just thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just thanks. I really don't know what to say that means more than you could ever know. Just thank you. I think you told us that it wasn't actually said or / written that God himself couldn't sink the ship. But what are your thoughts about the Herbus in creating these floating palaces? Wait. The Herbus in creating these floating palaces. What have you found about what was really said about the impossibility of the RMS Titanic actually sinking? Okay, let me read this again. I think you told us that it wasn't actually said / written that God himself couldn't sink this ship. As far as I know, that was never said. Except for that one instance where a passenger had a thought about it. But what are your thoughts about the Herbus in creating these floating palaces? When you say floating palaces, I'm not 100% certain about what you're talking about. What have you found out about what was really said about the impossibility of the RMS Titanic actually sinking? So, as far as I know, the only thing that was said for certain, I know Captain Smith made a comment that he said that he couldn't imagine anything happening to this vessel that would cause it to founder. Modern shipbuilding has gone beyond that. Captain Smith did say that. And then the whole Olympic Hawk collision, also the White Star Line basically said from that it showed that their ships were safe. They were never claimed to be unsinkable, but it was said that they are as unsinkable as they know how to make a ship. So that's, as far as I know, that's everything that was actually said. Found out what was really said about the impossibility of the, what have you found out about what was really said? So that's, as far as I know, that's what they said. But there was a passenger, I believe she was in first class on the Titanic. And as far as the only religious aspect of somebody saying that God himself couldn't sink the ship, there was a first-class passenger, and on the very last sunrise that the Titanic would ever see, as the ship was sailing along, she got up from her room, and then she went to the very front of the ship, you know, the very tip of the bow, just like the Jack and Rose I'm Flying or I'm King of the World scene. And she said that as she was standing there and the ship was sailing on and she was watching the sunrise, she said that she could feel the power and the beauty of this ship. And she thought that it was stronger than life itself and maybe even stronger than God himself. And then as soon as she had that thought, she said she suddenly felt really dark, like she just thought something sacrilegious. I cannot remember her name. I can't remember her name. But I do know that she wrote a book, and that's how, and it was a bestseller, and that's how she got her fortune. As far as I know, that's the only thing that any type of religious talk was made about the Titanic being unsinkable. But I hope I answered your question as best there. I don't really know what you mean when you say creating these floating palaces. I don't really know what you're talking about there, but I hope I answered your question as best I could. And seriously, Psych, thank you so much for that. I honestly, words cannot express the gratitude I feel. Just thank you so much. James 5, thank you. Is the U505 on the list? The U505, I'm not familiar with that one. Let's take a look. Wow, we're still so backed up on these super chats. Okay, I'll add it to the list, James, and thank you for the super chat, man, but I've got to try to catch up a little bit here. U505, James, hang on. U505. Let's see, U505. U505 is a German-type submarine built for Germany during World War II. She was captured by the U.S. Navy. Interesting. Okay, that is definitely something I'm going to try to cover. I wish I could dive in a little bit more deep into it, but I'll get to it as soon as I can. Thank you so much, James. Great video idea. Kissy, get Rosie. Rosie will be here soon. She was here at the beginning of the stream, actually. Let's see. Sebastian. Hey, Sam, can you do a video of the Norwegian Bliss? The Norwegian Bliss. That's a modern ship, Norwegian Cruise Line. Norwegian Bliss. Did something happen to it that I'm not familiar with? The Norwegian Bliss is a cruise ship. Was this ship caught in that storm? There was a Norwegian ship that was caught in a horrible storm and a bunch of passengers had issues with it. I don't know if it was this ship or not, but can you do a video of Norwegian Bliss? I'll look into it, man. I'm not sure exactly what type of video I would make about it, but maybe like a review of it or something. But thank you for the super chat. Mario 5, thank you so much. Can you do a video on the SS Morro Castle, a ship that caught fire and became beached in Osbury Park, New Jersey? People died, and there was an arsonist suspect. Really? The SS Morro Castle. I'm not familiar with it. Going to the list, going to the Google foo. I say that a lot. The SS Morro Castle. SS Morro Castle was an American ocean liner that caught fire and ran aground in the morning of September 8th, 1934. So she was sailing. She was sailing at the time. She was en route from Havana, Cuba to New York. A loss of 137 people. That's crazy. I will add that to the list. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen, you guys are going to keep me busy for years on all these ships. I mean, the Titanic videos will slow down at some point, but you guys are giving me enough other topics to keep this channel going for a long time. So thank you guys so much. Caleb 5, thank you so much, Caleb. Hey, Sam, a play from my earlier question. Do you think you could do a video on the siege of Peking from the early 1900s, also known as the 55 days? I'm not familiar with that at all. The siege of, I've never heard of that, actually. Hang on a second. The siege of, Google, siege of Peking. The battle, was Beijing. The Battle of Beijing, or historically the relief of Peking, was the battle fought on the 14th and 15th of August, 1900 in Beijing. Interesting. With the Eight-Nation Alliance relief, I'll have to look into it a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what I would do with it, but I'll go ahead and add that to the list, and great idea. A non-maritime video suggested by a fan. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Caleb. Catching up. Mr. Mini 5, thank you so much. Hi, Sam. It's me, Miles. Hi, Miles. Welcome to the stream. Sorry it took me a while to get to your question, but hey, welcome. Everybody, say hi, Miles. Everybody, welcome Miles to the stream. Hi, Miles. Everybody say hi to Miles. Or wait, I spelled your name wrong. Miles. There we go. Everybody say hi to Miles. Okay. Blondin 10, thank you so much. Let's hear about the impact the sinking of the Titanic/Lusitania had on historical events. Stuff beyond maritime regulations. The butterfly effect they left. Well, the Titanic disaster, created worldwide shock. And the Titanic disaster, because of the whole unsinkable legend that came around it, it's a prime example of how mankind challenged nature and lost. Like the confidence of man in machines. It's like they thought that everything was perfect with the ship and that nothing could happen to it. But it was as safe as they could make a ship, but still nature overcame it. And it made people realize that, we still have no matter how safe a ship is, the unthinkable can still happen. Nothing is ever 100% safe. And the sinking of the Titanic really, it showed us how many problems there were with maritime safety at the time and what we needed to change in order to make transatlantic travel safer. That was the big thing with Titanic. And as far as the Lusitania goes, it wasn't the direct cause of the United States getting into World War I, but it was a big trigger. The sinking of the Lusitania was just horrible. But the whole thing with the Lusitania, that the Lusitania was a symbol, to join the war effort, because look at that. That's how they had the Lusitania at the time. And it was like, look at what happened to this ship, join the cause and fight. And while I do think it was bad that the Germans torpedoed the Lusitania, at the exact same time, the Lusitania was most likely having weapons on board. So if the torpedo would have just hit the Lusitania, I don't think that it would have sunk. I don't think it would have. I think that secondary explosion is what doomed the ship. And I'm on the side of it being weapons, not coal dust. So it was horrible that the Germans fired at the Lusitania. It was a passenger ship. They shouldn't have fired at her. That was horrible. But at the same time, I don't think the Lusitania should have been carrying weapons either. It's a double-edged sword situation. You know what I mean? I get America wanting to help out the British. I understand that. But on a passenger ship, I hope I'm making sense here. It's a double-edged sword situation. But it was definitely a big butterfly effect. The sinking of the Lusitania definitely had a huge impact on the outcome of the First World War. Definitely did. Let's see here. We got that one. So many questions. Oh my gosh. Okay. We got Blondins. Okay. That's the last one we're on. Okay. I'm trying to catch up here. Uncover 5. Thank you so much. Can you make a video of passenger William Stead? He wrote 2 articles of stories that sounded like Titanic. William Stead. I feel like I've heard that name before. William Stead. Was he on the Titanic? William Stead, Titanic. Let's see. William Stead was a British newspaper editor who was a pioneer in investigative journalism, became a controversial figure in the Victorian era. Was this the guy who came up with the mummy's curse? I feel like this was. I'd have to do some extra research into him, but I believe we have talked about this guy before in my conspiracy video. I don't know if I mentioned him by name, but I'll definitely go ahead and add him to the list, because if I'm remembering correctly, he definitely did a lot, and he has a very interesting story, but I'll add that to the list. Thank you so much, Uncover. Thank you for the 5. Nathan, 5. Thank you so much. Video on the Confederate submarine H.L. Hunley, the first sub to sink a ship in the Civil War that sank on our way back to port. The Hunley is definitely on the list. We have talked about that before on this channel. The Hunley is definitely one of the most interesting vehicles that I've ever studied. Just the fact that there was a submarine during the Civil War is absolutely mind-blowing to me. You had, for those of you who don't know, the Hunley was basically a metal shell, and it was used by the South during the Civil War. And it had 7 or 8 guys, and they got into this metal tube that had a big crank that you rotate like this, and that's how you turn the submarine's propeller. And these guys the submarine would just pretend this is a submarine. It would have a torpedo right here on the front, and then the submarine would go under, and then they would bring it up to the surface, and then they would ram a ship, and then they would pull back, and then a rope that was at the front would pull the trigger and set off the bomb. And that's how they sunk a ship. But the Hunley only ever sunk one ship, and during the explosion, it's rumored that explosion did some damage to the Hunley and caused it to sink, because the Hunley did sink its target, but it sunk on its way back. But that is definitely on the list. Great video idea. Okay. Mr. Minnie. Oh, hi, Ori. Welcome to the stream. Glad you're still here, man. Welcome back, Ori. Joseph, 5. Thank you so much. And thank you, Ori, for the 5. Video on the RMS Carpathia sinking. It sank in World War I, and there is an image of it sinking. No one seems to know it sank. Building RMS Carpathia sinking. Second one, there's an image of it sinking. Yes, we are going. I know everybody has been asking about it, and it's, to be quite honest, it's crazy that I haven't made a video about the Carpathia yet. But I'm going to make an entire video talking about the life of the Carpathia. I don't know if it'll be as long as my Olympic series. It'll probably just be one video. But I am going to talk about the Carpathia. I'm going to talk about what happened to it, its role during the Titanic sinking, and I'm going to conclude the video with the eventual sinking of the Carpathia. Great idea, Joseph, and thank you for the 5. Okay. Okay, we got that one. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. Sorry if it gets quiet, guys. I'm just trying to catch up on everything. Let's see. Ryan, 5, thank you so much. Nature got offended humans tried conquering it and sent an iceberg to assert dominance. Well, that's one way to look at it. That's for darn sure. That's definitely one way to think about that whole situation. Thank you so much, Ryan, and thank you for the 5. Very interesting take on that whole Titanic story. Lucky Dog, $5. Thank you so much. Hey, new sub here. How about a video on Titanic 2? And if you think any ship should bear the name again. Also, ship naming rules in general. I've talked about Titanic 2 before on the live streams quite often. And my opinion is they should not build it. Because you cannot rebuild the Titanic and have it be just like the Titanic, because it wouldn't be legal to sail on it. You know, the Titanic is a dinghy by modern day ship comparisons. I mean, there's no reason to rebuild the Titanic. And as I've said before, I'm more pro them actually building a museum ship, like something that doesn't sail, and make it look like Titanic, because you can have it be a museum and you can build it to be historically accurate so people can go on and see what it was like. But if you build it as an ocean liner and make it sailable, or something that people can sail on, it wouldn't be Titanic. It would look like it, but it'd look like it in some rooms, but it wouldn't be the ship. And it really wouldn't tell us anything more about the actual story of the Titanic. So I think they're trying to capitalize on the ship itself and make money off it. And I don't think they should do it. I really don't think they should. And I don't think any ship should bear the name Titanic again. I really don't. But talk about naming of ships in general. That'd be an interesting idea. Talk about what companies did at the time. Definitely a good idea. Okay. I love cars again. Thank you for a 5. I'm glad the list is long. We all want you to keep making videos. Thanks so much. I love cars. Also, your merchandise. You planning on doing new and more options? Absolutely. I was actually talking to my family about that today. There are definitely going to be some new designs coming. I have an idea for one that has something to do with, it's on the list, but I'm playing around with stuff, so we'll see. But I'm definitely going to have some more stuff coming out in the future. Thank you for the super chat. Great idea. All right, I need the mocha. Much better. Let's see. Okay, I'm very sorry if I mispronounce this name. Nafai. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that. Napai. Can you do a video about the fireman crew? I would like to know more about the men that died to keep the lights on. I actually made an entire video already talking about all of that. The video is called Where the Final Battle to Keep the Titanic Afloat Took Place. It's one of my very early videos. I'm talking early. Like, you'll have to go way back into my video history. But I made a video talking all about that. Boiler Room 6, Boiler Room 5, how they fought to keep the power going. There's a whole video about that, and I encourage you to go and watch that. And anyway, thank you so much for the super chat, Napai, and I hope you like the video. But just be warned, it's probably a little bit rough because it is one of my early videos. But I still think it's good. Listen, that whole the whole video creation, like, I am so critical about my older videos. Like, when I upload a video, it's like every video I make, I try to make it better. And then when I go back and see what I did 6 months ago, I'm like, oh, like, even though the video is good, it's just the creator in me cringes because I'm like, oh, I could make this better. I can make this better. And Caleb 5, thank you so much. Have you heard of the USS O'Bannon, a destroyer that sank a Japanese submarine using potatoes? Seriously? How on earth could you sink a submarine using potatoes? I feel like you're messing with me. Hang on a second. But I feel like you're messing with me, but at the exact same time, my gut's telling me you're not. You're actually telling me something that really happened. Hang on a second. The USS O'Bannon was a French-class destroyer, was the second ship of the US Navy. There's nothing here. I found the ship, but I don't see anything about the potato incident. That's the potato incident. That's really funny when I say it like that. I'll need to research this a little bit, but hang on one second. The submarine pulled alongside the destroyer close enough that the destroyer's guns could not hit it. Several different versions of the story say the sailors on the destroyer pelted the submarine crew with potatoes. Are you serious? Commander Donald MacDonald only said that the submarine was so close, the destroyer's cook believed that he could throw a potato at it. So he claimed that no potatoes were actually thrown. Okay, you know what? Okay, this is going on the list because this is too funny. Submarine pulls up and the crew on board just throw potatoes at it. Okay, thank you so much for that video suggestion, man. I'm actually crying. That's really funny because I can just picture a submarine pulling up to a ship and a bunch of guys just throwing potatoes at it. That is absolutely hilarious. Okay, thank you so much, man. Potato and Caleb. That's Caleb. Gotcha. It's on the list, Caleb, and thank you for making me laugh. That is Scott. How could potatoes do it? I can't get that image out of my head. Like I'm picturing a submarine pulling up to a ship and then a bunch of guys just throwing potatoes at it. I can't get that image out of my head now. That is so funny. That is so funny. Okay, let's get back to the super chats. Thank you so much, Caleb. That made my evening. That comment was so funny. Thank you so much. Okay, Camo too. Thank you so much. What happened to the White Star Line after the sinking of the Titanic? They made a lot of changes to their other ships. You know, a lot of the changes with the White Star Line, you know, they came over time. You know, it was a gradual change. But you know, one of the first things implemented was adding enough lifeboats to every other ship. And what you're going to find out in the next video on the Olympic series is that it didn't happen that quick because there was a mutiny. You know, there was a mutiny on board the Olympic that I will be talking about. In the other video. And they made changes to the Britannic. As far as the long-term changes, you know, I know that they require 24-hour radio watch. There's a number of other things that we'd have to talk about that, like maritime law changed after the Titanic disaster. As far as more specific White Star Line stuff, I'd have to research it a little bit more. But I do know about the 24-hour radio thing. I know that they added enough lifeboats for everybody on board on every ship. And a few other things like that. But I'd have to research it a little bit more to give you more specific details. But thanks, Camo, for the super chat. Aviation 3, thank you. They are already constructing a Titanic 2. So here's the thing about that. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about that Australian billionaire guy who was talking about doing it. He has been talking about doing that for years. I mean, I first heard about that when I was in college back in like 2012, 2013. And every time it starts up, something happens and it stops. So as far as I know, I don't believe construction has started. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. If construction has started, then it might actually happen. But I've heard it so much at this point that until I actually see pictures of it being built, I won't believe it. You know, because it's been talked about, and then it always falls apart. So the first time I heard about it, he said that he was wanting to have the ship sailing by 2016. I believe I'm remembering that right. So I'll believe it when I see it. Let's see. Shane, $10. Thank you so much, Shane. Did you ever do one on the MS Scandinavian Star that caught fire in 1990? The Scandinavian Star. I feel like I've heard about that. Scandinavian Star fire. Scandinavian Star. I have not made a video about this, but I have heard of it, and from what I remember, it was horrible. It was an absolute horrible disaster because I don't think the ship sank, but it just burned. The whole ship caught fire on the inside. But I will definitely add that to the list because we have not covered that before, but I do remember hearing about that, and that would be a horrible thing. That actually reminds me of the Doña Paz. But thank you so much for the super chat, Shane. Thank you so much. That was awesome. And thank you for the 10. And great video. Great video idea. Fox Ellen, she was a passenger ferry, Sam. Hi, Fox. Welcome to the stream. Okay, everybody. We have hit the 1 hour mark, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready to Sam's potatoes. Hey, look, that was funny, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and get ready to close out the live stream for tonight. I will take 1 or 2 more questions, and then I'm going to conclude the stream tonight. Oh, here we go. Raven, do you have any theories about what happened? Hang on. Did I miss a super chat? Hang on a second. Let me go back and see. Hey, Pen Prop. What? Oh, there we go. Electro. I'm sorry I missed your super chat. Hey, Sam, how long do you think it will take for the HMS Britannic to decay? Will it outlive Titanic? Absolutely. I think the Britannic will be at the bottom of the ocean for a very, very long time before it decays. Because if you look at the condition of Britannic, it looks, I'll show you guys Rosie. I will not sign off without showing you guys Rosie. Rosie had a trip to the beauty parlor. So she had all of her fur cleaned and she looks good. Actually, I meant to post this on my channel in the community page, but that was her. She got all of her fur done. They put a little scarf on her. She looked really good. But yeah, the Britannic will be at the bottom of the ocean for a very, very long time. Honestly, I think the Britannic will still be there in 1,000, 2,000 years because it's decaying so slowly. The Titanic is in a rapid state of decay. So I don't think the Titanic will be there, at least most of it. I think it'll have a major structural collapse in the next 50 to 100 years. But we're losing the Titanic, but I think Britannic will also be back. I think Britannic will be around for a long time. But thank you for the 5, by the way. And I did see one other question that I want to answer, and it was, do I have any rumors or theories about what happened to the Mary Celeste? For those of you who don't know, the Mary Celeste was a clipper ship. I forget where it left from exactly, but I know it left from the east coast of the United States, and then it sailed off, heading for the UK and stuff. And then a few months later, some crews saw it on the other side of the ocean. I forget exactly where, but they saw the ship just sailing by, and then it just didn't look right. They didn't know what was wrong with it. So they went aboard and they found nothing. No crew, no sign of a struggle. The lifeboat was missing, but all the ship's cargo was intact. And I think that ship traveled, like since the last entry in the log, that ship had traveled 2,000 or 3,000 miles at full sail. It was a clipper ship, sail ship. Since the last entry in the log, the ship traveled somewhere around 2,000 to 3,000 miles at full sail with no one at the helm. I'm pulling this memory off the top of my head. I may be getting some of these details wrong, but I cannot remember exactly all the details. I'm just pulling this off the top of my head. But the Mary Celeste is a ghost ship, and to this day, we don't know what happened to her. The only thing we know is the lifeboat was missing. And I heard something or somewhere that the crew might have thought the ship was going to explode, which I don't, because the ship did have a lot of alcohol on board. But I don't really know exactly. I'd need to do some more research into it. But something mysterious did happen to the Mary Celeste. I believe it sailed through the Bermuda Triangle. I wonder if that had something to do with it. I'm definitely going to make a dedicated video about the Bermuda Triangle. And we got 2 more super chats. Brian, 5, thank you so much. I accidentally stumbled on one of your videos a month ago, and now I'm completely obsessed with Titanic because of you. What have you done to me? Well, Brian, I'm sorry I made you obsessed with the Titanic, but I'm glad you really like my videos, man. That really means a lot. It means so much. Like, you guys have no idea how much it means to me that you guys like my content and enjoy my videos. I mean, words cannot express the gratitude I feel. Thank you for the super chat, Brian. And Jim, welcome back to the stream. 5, thank you so much. Sam, Jim! It makes me so happy when I don't miss your Sunday live stream. I'm glad you're here, man. Such a great guy and a great shipwreck historian. Have a great day, friend. Thank you so much, Jim. That really means a lot. Jim, thank you so much. All of you guys out there, thank you all so much for all the chats, all the comments, all the super chats. You guys, seriously, I can't thank you all enough. Okay, so before we sign off, let's find Rosie. Let's see what Rosie's doing. Hang on, let me check and see what she's doing. Be right back. Okay, guys. Shh. She's sleeping again. She's sleeping again. Let's find the Rosie. Oh, yeah, and guys, just so you know, best cereal in the world. All right, here she is. Rosie, say hi to everybody. Oh, you sound asleep. She likes sleeping on the floor because it's colder. But yeah, she had a big day, and she had a real big day yesterday when she went to the beauty parlor. Rosie, say hi. Come on, Rosie. Say hi to everybody. Rosie, say hi. She's like, why are you waking me up? She had a big walk today, just like always, but she's a baby. Well, she's a spoiled, rotten puppy, but I love her. I love that dog to death. She's a mess. Rosie, Rosie, Rosie. All right, everybody. Well, hey, I think I'm going to go ahead and close out the live stream for tonight. This was a great live stream. Everybody who did super chats, thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Psych. Huge thank you to you. Seriously, like, words can't express how much gratitude I feel. I mean, all you guys doing super chats. I mean, honestly, I can't thank you guys enough. It's because of people like all of you, and I'm like, just all the support. It's the reason I'm able to do this for a job. And I really I can't thank you guys enough. So just thank you. And honestly, I want to thank everybody who was giving out the great video ideas, all the comments I'm getting in the videos, all that stuff means a lot. All the support in general, guys, seriously, all that support, you have no idea how much help that is. And just guys, keep doing what you're doing. You guys are awesome. And thank you all so much. All right, everybody. Well, hey, that's it for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. And I will be going live again at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday next week. So stay tuned for that. And on Tuesday or Wednesday, probably Wednesday evening, Olympic Part 5 will be released. So stand by for that. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good night, everybody, and thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a good evening, everybody.